Great to have you with us for a Wednesday night, heading into a long weekend, of course. No basketball to head out to, but it is a big night tonight and tomorrow night because we've got the players and coaches of the month for the month of May. Steve Chalmers is with me. We've been holding down the fort all week, Steve-O.
We have.
But Mr. Sniffles has returned to our left. Just out of action, mate? Just a little bit too hard to come into work with a runny nose?
I tune in, because I'm a good worker. I tune in at 5:30 p.m. to see what you two have said on the show. And the first thing I hear...
You're the one that watches, yeah?
The first thing I hear is you guys telling me that I'm not smart enough because I didn't schedule my sickness better.
Well, Steve and I will both be sick this Friday.
And
we're a little bit smarter.
And then I jump into the comments. First two comments ripping into me as well.
Well, I'm surprised there's only two. There should have been more than that. We encouraged a lot more people.
And I quote, Craig Freeman, not an intelligent fellow, is he?
Well, that's a very good comment. Who did that? Who said that? Jared Leslie. Jared, that's one of the smartest things I've heard this season.
Steve actually.
That's actually my burner account.
Don't
give that away, right?
Anyway, Sniffles, it's good to see you. Youth League 2 Women, Coach and Player of the Month. Steve-O, where are we starting?
We're starting with the Coach of the Month of May.
It's easy, surely.
Of course, it's out at Casey. Brad Roof.
Again.
4-0 Casey flying.
Yes.
Beat out the likes of Daniel Ionitis from Blackburn, or Jonitas, Jill Appleton of Pakenham, Byron Carpenter from Frankston. But as I mentioned, 4-0 for the month. Average winning margin of nearly 30 points in those
no one
games.
else has got a chance, have they? Seriously, he'll win everyone for the rest of the season. Just give him June and July now, just get it done.
No.
We can't.
No, we can't.
Oh, right, okay.
I mean, what if
Mornington
rattled off a 4-game win streak? From down at last, and then you give him coach of the...
They may do that, Craig. It's highly unlikely, but we'll hold out hope. What about Player of the Month for Youth League 2 Women? Because I like this.
Well, it's out at Whittlesea. I believe, I could be wrong, I believe she's won one before this year. Hayley
Windy.
4 games throughout the month of May. 22.5 points, 12 3/4 rebounds per game, nearly 2 assists, 2.5 steals, nearly 4 blocks a game.
Dominating.
Had 19 points, 20 rebounds and 8 blocks against Blackburn early on in the month. Honourable mentions to Ellie Coots, Lauren Tuplin and Cassie Bora.
Scotty's girl has been on fire, there's no doubt about that. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago, look out, Windy is firming very quickly in MVP calculations.
Just winding up.
She is she's firing up right now. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's getting close though, because Tuppers and Coetzee have still had great seasons in their own right. I think it's going to be a good competition through to the end.
Let's go to Youth League 2 Men, Coach of the Month. We're headed down to Franger.
With Glenn Eames from the Frankston Blues. They were undefeated in May, going 5-0. Started the month at 5th, ended up in 3rd. They made a real nice move through the season.
I think it's a good call. We've been talking about Frankston the last couple of weeks. They have absolutely put the afterburners on, haven't they?
Yeah, a couple of other good teams throughout the month of May as well. Keesey, Pakenham, Craigieburn, all up there, but certainly Eames from the Blues, well and truly deserved winner.
Player of the Month for Youth League 2 Men. I'm not sure that I agree with this. I just don't know that he gets enough assists, Steve.
Wow.
Throwing shade, eh?
Wow.
Come on.
This was a lay down Bazaar, wasn't it? This was the easiest one to pick.
But you still wanted to have a big dig, didn't you? Lockie Bazic from Mornington, you're being very facetious.
I'm being flippant.
Athian Manuel and Ned Wiedemann, some honourable mentions there, but 27 points per game,
Dominated.
10.5 rebounds,
Dominated.
2.5 assists, 2 steals, and as we mentioned earlier on in May, 52 point, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steal game throughout that month of May. That was a highlight on the calendar for sure.
He was unlucky that week, Lockie, because I think that's the same week Jackie Roberts went 54 points in the game, wasn't it?
He wasn't even the highest scorer that week.
No, Lockie Bazic has been in scintillating form this season and thoroughly deserves that award. Let's go to Youth League 1 Women. Here's the Coach of the Month, Craig.
Yeah, out to Keilor. Ryan Morris just getting over Ainsley Howard of Corio Bay. They've had 3 wins from 3 matches and are sitting equal first on top of the ladder with Sunbury.
And they've been on a win streak, Steve-O.
Well, they popped Sunbury, as Craig just mentioned, equal first. Popped Sunbury by 32, just casually 32.
On the buzzer.
Geelong, who were 3rd at the time, by 28 points. So they're a clear benchmark of the competition.
I think I'm the only person who tipped him in both those games.
Oh no, of course you were. Yeah, Sniffles, of course you were. Hey, listen, Player of the Month for Youth League 1 Women. One person, when this news was handed down, who curled up in a ball and cried like a broken-hearted teenager was this bloke beside me, because he just could not live with the fact that Angus from the Hangers didn't get up.
Once again, the only player on the list that the honourable mention is listed in front of the winner. But of course, the winner is Tegan Tatlock from Corio Bay, absolutely flying as she always is. 29.5 points per game, 5.5 boards, 3 assists, 3 steals, over 40% from the field.
Is that Di's girl? Is that Di Tatlock's girl?
Yeah.
Tegan?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're just trying to get parental media finds as well.
Checking.
Had 32
double,
points,
by the way.
32
Double.
points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists and 6 steals in a win over Craigieburn in round 8, and followed that up in round 9 with 42 points,
Very
7
good.
rebounds and 8
Very good.
steals against Alpham.
The most well-known family dog in Big V are the Tatlocks. Tickles Tatlock, of course, and Tickles would be pretty happy tonight because Tegan's picked up Player of the Month for Youth League 1 Women. Let's go to Youth League... Youth League 1...
Men.
Let's go to Youth League 1 Men, sorry.
Have we touched on the Coach of the Month?
Yeah,
we did. No, of course we did.
You're throwing me off here. Can we move on to Youth League 1 Men? Are you with us?
We can.
What's wrong with you two?
No, I threw you off.
We started talking about Chloe Ango. Anyway, Youth League 1 Men. I know we are flippant, but I don't think you've actually ever seen Chloe play.
No,
never. Youth League 1 Men. Coach of the Month, and this team is up and about at the moment.
Yeah, and do you know what this says? Get on the panel and you'll win some games.
Straight in. Ilya Palionis.
Yeah, from Waverley, 6-0. Got over Lisa Townsend from Sunbury, who also went 6-0. Had big wins over Camberwell and Geelong on back-to-back days. Average winning margin over
Very
20
good.
points.
And you'll notice that before we said his name, there was a pregnant pause because Craig was waiting for me to say his name
Yes,
because
of course.
he can't.
Well, yesterday he saw the name on the notes and he went home.
Just panicked.
Practiced.
That's why he's had the sniffles. Player of the Month, I like this. I like it a lot.
Well, I think he originally was coming off the bench down at the Supercats, injected into the starting lineup about mid-May, and he's just continued on that upward trend. Wang Nieth from the Supercats, 6 games, nearly 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, has 1.5 blocks a game as well. Had that back-to-back span of 25 points, 11 rebounds against that top opposition in both Sunbury and Waverley.
Beat home some good players.
He did. Jared Molnar from Warrandyte, Jordan O'Leary, Corio Bay, and of course KC from Sunbury.
What about the accountant from Warrandyte? He'd be right up in that mix as well, wouldn't he?
He had a couple of good weekends where he had good back-to-back games.
A couple of big weekends, but I think he was held quiet to a couple of times as well.
Okay, all right. So well done to Ilya Polianis and Wang Nieth. Youth League 1 Men. Let's go to VYC Women with thanks to Moulton. The awards for the month of May will start with the coach.
Out at Sandringham for the month of May, Joe Wood.
Oh, Woody.
5-0 for the Sabres,
Yep.
just flying. Had big
On
wins
fire.
over Diamond Valley by 16 and Knox by 12. Beat out the likes of Nick Jackson from Nuttawading, who went 6-1, and of course Rob Dillemans from Ringwood, who went 5-1.
Thoroughly deserved. Well done to Joanne Wood. And the player of the month. And this player has been in some sort of form.
Yeah, out there to Waverley again for their second award of the Youth League teams, and we're with Grace Beasley. She has had a great month, 19 points per game, 7.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 3.3 steals. She had 23 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists, and 6 steals versus Hawthorn.
Massive.
Beat out the likes of Aliana Bravington, who's been terrific for the Raiders. Meg Regauskas at Sandringham, Danielle O'Toole at Bendigo, but well done Grace Beasley, thoroughly deserved. Let's finish it all off for tonight with VYC Men, the awards for the month of May. Who's the coach of the month?
We are out to Eltham with Greg Jeffers. The Wildcats just keep on delivering. He beats out the likes of Dave Mitchell from Sandringham, Ash Arnott from Dandenong, and Mark Landells from Kilsyth, who picked up well this last month. Their only loss came on the second game of a back-to-back versus a fresh Dandenong, which is as tough of a game as you can get. And Dandenong had everyone playing that game as well, and it was only 3 points on the road, so that's as much of a schedule loss as you can get.
I believe in the last few years, every time Greg gets a monthly award, Coach of the Month, he gets an additional year added to his coaching contract. He's currently contracted till 2071, so he's in place there for a fair while.
Is that before or after the year extension?
Well, he'll go to 2072 now, so he will be a part of the furniture down there for quite some time.
Wonderful. Let's move on to our player of the month.
Yes.
and it's none other.
This is a tough comp to pick player of the month.
Very much so.
One of the toughest in all of Big V. I reckon.
toughest.
But I can tell you what, it's one of Craig Freeman's favourite players
One of
in the
my
competition.
favourites too. Yes.
Don't steal a player. Don't steal
Okay.
a player.
All right.
Next, he's going to be claiming Chloe Ango.
He's out at Keilor. BJ Simons
Yes,
had a
BJ.
big month of May. 19 points per game, 10 rebounds, 4 of them offensive per game. 62% from the field BJ was shooting. He also had more blocks than fouls throughout the entire month, which is a brilliant stat to pick up. I think Mr. Analysis may have picked that one up himself.
Well, good work. Sniffles, you're sitting on the couch for 2 days, scratching yourself, doing nothing. You've got to do something. Hey, listen, can we find out? Well, I probably just need to go into the computer to find out. But
That's a struggle for an old man such as yourself.
I've got to work it out. Work it out, turn it on. But BJ, is it Billy James? Is it Bobby Jones?
Could just be
Is it-
BJ.
No, surely.
Someone from Keilor was watching this,
Just tell us.
at least one person, and they
Do
will
we
be
know?
commenting,
Is it Bradley?
letting us know.
James or what does BJ stand for? I don't know idea. But anyway, BJ Simons, well done, Player of the Month for VYC. Man, he's straight onto it now, trying to do it. So coming up tomorrow night, Steve.
Well, we've got our 6 senior divisions, player and coach of the months being announced, very similar to tonight. And there may be some repetition from tonight in terms of
Ooh.
tomorrow night. That's a little secret being revealed tomorrow night.
We've just found out it stands for Baxter Jethro Simons. Baxter Jethro Simons, BJ Simons. Okay, I'm going to have a look at the awards for tomorrow night. You're not going to get to hear them until tomorrow night. We'll catch up with you on Big V TV, 5:30 PM. See you then.